peak bird migration has arrived. And it is erupting. 2 nights ago, over 700 million birds in flight at a single time over the lower 48 states of the United States. Last night, over 600 million birds at a single moment in time over the US. In 2 nights, in just one measurable moment, almost 1.5 billion birds were in the skies over the US at a single moment in time. Now, maybe some of those birds were the same birds one night to the next, but still, we're talking almost 1 billion birds on any given night in the skies migrating. The sky's a big place, but there's a lot of birds coming back to spend their summers with us. If we look at last night, similar picture to the night before as to what was moving. So where do we see it? Well, the Pacific Coast saw some amazing migration. The East Coast saw some amazing migration. Parts of the West, well, there was a storm system that was moving through. Not a lot happening through there, but much of Colorado got some migration. Eastern Wyoming, New Mexico got some great migration. Arizona got some migration. Eastern Montana even got some migration. Lots of migration in each of these places. But that's still not where it was at its best. Sure, the Panhandle of Nebraska, Northeast Colorado, some amazing stuff. Sure, up in the Great Lakes even, amazing movements from the Great Lakes states down into Iowa. But really, Kentucky and Tennessee last night saw some serious movement of birds. But the big picture is, birds were everywhere last night. If you were in a few unlucky places, hopefully not out near the biggest week in birding, they may not have seen as much this morning, though it looks like more is coming on the way soon, right? Look where these birds are going. They're heading right that way. But everywhere else saw amazing migration last night. And more is on the way. We still, perhaps, have not hit the biggest nights. Last night, single moment in time, 2 nights ago, over 700 million birds. Last night, over 600 million birds. We still might have a night where we hit into the 900 million birds in flight over just the lower 48 in a single moment in time. So that's last night. Let's look ahead to tonight. Now it's late tonight, and I'm going to show you where the active migration is happening. But from this image from Birdcast and the Purdue Aero Ecolab and several other amazing partners that formed to make Birdcast, tonight, Pacific Coast is still seeing some great stuff. What you'll notice about the Pacific Coast, it never seems like there's anything huge happening. It's just steady. It's just steady along the Pacific Coast. And that's great. They're getting a lot of birds moving up that way. A lot of birds are going to filter through that area. You know, it's a milder climate oftentimes. While storms do move through, they move through pretty quickly, and maybe are doing a lot less work in those areas. So the Pacific Coast is always seeing just steady migration. The Rockies, well, this system right here is still hanging out, so much of the Rockies in the west, we're still in a little bit of a black hole, but last night, some of us in the Rockies, we got some new birds showing up. That's great. Northern Great Plains, there's some movement in the Northern Great Plains. Great for them. Up in the Northeast, there's some movement. Even with these storm systems moving around up here, there is still some movement up in the Northeast. And then, where is it at its greatest? Well, the Southeast. From Texas across to Florida, up to Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then look at Arkansas. Arkansas and Missouri are forming together to make one heck of a corner down there in southeast Missouri, northeast Arkansas, and then western Kentucky, western Tennessee, southern Illinois, southern Indiana. It is just a hotbed of warblers, of buntings, of grosbeaks, of flycatchers. The insectivores are back, and they're coming back in great numbers. If you're in this area tomorrow morning, get your binoculars, dust them off if they're already not clean, get your camera ready, charge your batteries, because tomorrow is going to be a great, great day of birding for you. Looking at what's happening right now, since I am recording this on the later side, and we're only doing a single night again, I'm running behind a lot lately. You can already see where migration is at this moment in time. So it's dark from the East Coast, pretty much out to the West Coast now. I think everyone has experienced sunset by this point. Maybe the far West Coast is still waiting on full sunset, but at this point in time, everywhere through the Rockies has experienced sunset, and the birds are going crazy. Now, clearly something's happening here. We might be able to go back and look at our map to see if there's a weather event that's creating kind of some of that odd movement in the birds, but you can see north central Texas, and then those areas we already talked about, amazing bird migration in those areas. And then even up here, looks like western New York, seeing some serious bird movement already this evening. Now, what will it look like in the middle of the night? Well, I'm not going to be up to tell you, but we'll look at it tomorrow and find out where and when the birds went. For our lights out alert tonight, well, the whole Pacific coast and most of the West, big part of the lights out alert. And then obviously the area where the birds were moving hot and heavy, lights out alerts in those areas. But you're going to notice a trend. For most of North America, this is the time of year where pretty much everywhere needs to be in a lights out alert. We can just take our red pen here. We can just do this, and we can just color this all in. These are the critical nights. Starting maybe last week, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, we need lights out at night. If you don't need lights on for safety, get them off. If you can switch your lights to motion activated lights or to lights that are shielded, focusing light towards the ground. So if you've got a light that looks like this, so there's the post, here's your light, and all that light escapes up into the sky, well, that can create disruptive conditions to birds. So what can you do? All you need is you take a nice simple shield, put over it, so then what your light does is go to the ground where all the happy people are. That's a happy person if you can't tell. So the light goes to the ground. So it's just a simple shield that goes over the light. So there's your light pole. There's your light. And then just put some sort of shielding over it so that if the light has to stay on all night, the light goes where it's needed, which is on the ground where people are. We're not up in the sky. So any light going up into the sky, well, that's just being wasted, and it can disrupt our feathered friends from getting back to the places they need to be. So as simple as that, we can help millions of birds every single night. This is it. We're in it. It's only going to get better from here until it gets really, really sad. The really sad days we might go back to some silliness and gimmicks, because it kind of brings a tear when the most active part of migration is over until the fall. Although fall migration is sad for other reasons, but we're in it. This is the time. This is the time to get out, take a friend, take some family, introduce them to the wonder of birds. Get out your Merlin app, check your birdcast every night, tune into Flocking Around to see when and where the birds are going to be. But this is it. The last waves of birds are coming in huge numbers. These are the birds that are highly insectivorous, and they wait to come in until insect populations are really starting to balloon in various areas across North America. So, get out there, go see some birds, go enjoy them, and then take some steps to improve the airspace, the habitat for birds that they need so that they can come home safely. We will see you tomorrow for another Migration Minute.